time asking you guys about the regular season and finals MVP, but this will be the most important MVP question you will ever be asked. Who was the Warriors parade MVP? Go ahead, Matt.
This is new. It was a close call for me, but I have to go with my guy, Klay Thompson. From starting the day with losing his hat as he was boating over there, dropped the championship ring, was drinking Henny out of the bottle, knocked over a pedestrian, was dancing like Michael Jackson, and at the end of the day was in the cold tub with the beer once the parade was over. It was a hard day for him, well-deserved. We're all happy to see him back in the league, and it couldn't have happened to a better guy.
I'm going to go, my MVP is the MVP of the finals, and Steph Curry. He shows up with all his trophies. He shows up with his championship rings. He gives a mic drop. You finally see Steph loosen up a little bit. Like his competitive stamina is just insane. And the fact that he hears and sees everything. And he comes out and says, what they gonna say now? I love every minute of it.
I'm going with JJ's choice. Look, it could be Draymond every year. You know Draymond is blockbuster entertainment. It could be Klay every day. You know Klay Thompson, you just can't take your eyes off whatever he's gonna do. But Steph Curry, to see the stoic, stone cold personality come down, to see a little pettiness, a little arrogance maybe, a little celebration, and then to pose with the GOAT Steph Curry, the actual GOAT. I'm gonna give it to Steph because we rarely see him cut a little bit loose like that, giving us a little night-night. I like all of it. I want more of that, Steph. Celebrate, he deserves it. So I'm going Steph Curry, parade MVP, Finals MVP, he's got it.
I think when you reach a certain age, there are zero bleeps to be given, and I think that Curry, with his accomplishments and age, has arrived at that point, and we do love to see it. All right, let's bring in someone who had a front row seat to all the fun, our Warriors reporter, Kendra Andrews. So, Kendra, what was your favorite moment from yesterday?
There were a ton of them, George. Gary Payton was a man of his word. He went full J.R. Smith, no shirt for the entire day. Jordan Poole threw his own pool party. He had a super soaker, was throwing around floaties, had a flamingo floaty he was running around with. Andrew Wiggins was spraying champagne. There was an assistant coach who got off the double-decker bus, opened his mouth, and then another coach on top of the bus waterfalled champagne into his mouth. But my MVPs were the same as you guys, right? Klay Thompson was an absolute menace. I had a front row seat for his little Michael Jackson impression, which was great to see. And then, of course, Stephen Curry. As you guys mentioned, the public does not get to see this side of Stephen that often, right? And he was doing all of his celebrations. My favorite moment, though, that I don't think there was much footage of, he hopped up onto a bus stop post, onto a railing, and started slamming the sign as he egged on the crowd. Damian Lee, who of course is his brother-in-law, hopped up there with him, started spraying champagne all over the crowd. It was a big moment. I think my hair still smells a little bit like the champagne.
To say that as a society, we do not celebrate enough. The Warriors celebrated. They celebrated plenty. And of course, the mouth of the Warriors had something to say. Let's listen to Draymond Green.
This has been an amazing year. I told y'all don't let us win a championship. And clearly, nobody could stop it. I warned y'all. But what brings me the most joy in winning a championship ever since I won my first one is seeing the guys who win it the first time. I just want to say thank you all, and as always, everybody else. I love y'all.
I love Draymond Green so much. Jalen Rose, the parade. I think there might have been some adult beverages.
I'm so happy for Day-Day, fellow Michigander. He's from Saginaw, went to Saginaw High School. You know, since day one, I've been who are we, Saginaw Pride, because I not only saw a winner, but I saw a leader, a champion, and somebody that could be a game changer without necessarily raining three-point shots or scoring 25 points a game. He's a new era version of a glue guy, an enforcer. You called him the voice of the team. Like, he carries so many roles that are beyond the box score. And he gives them that level of toughness that now all of a sudden he puts it out there, and now it seems like they have to back it up. I appreciate that. And it's like, put it all on me. You were at the game in Boston. It's almost like when I was watching Crush Groove and Run got into it with Russell. He was like, They ain't screaming Russell DMC. They screaming Run DMC. You know what I mean? And when they was in Boston, they was all screaming at Draymond.
Yep.
But Steph Curry was the one scoring 43. You see what I mean? And so what I appreciate is how he's matured and embraced that role, and how his teammates have rallied behind him, how his coaching staff has trusted him. Because when you walk on the edge like that, or almost getting 1 tech and 2 techs, and you have a history when he got ejected one time and they lost to the Cavs, sometimes you want to take that player's aggression away. Like the Splash Brothers and Steve Kerr boost him.
Fuel it.
So much so that, please run that video again. I'm going to show y'all something that's extremely funny. When he said what he said, when he dropped the mic, where was he walking to?
It's sitting right back down. The chair's right there.
Right, exactly.
So we have the MVP of the finals is Steph Curry. The MVP of the parade was Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson had himself a day. It started when he lost his hat on the boat on his way to the parade.
Yeah.
And not only did he lose his hat, he lost a lot. He lost his championship ring. Look, he loses his championship ring, just drops on the ground. It's in the confetti. He can't find it. He had a day.
So people, a lot of times, for a guy like me that didn't win a championship in college or the pros, always ask me, like, what I missed beyond that happening. And the only thing I wanted to do is have a parade. Because being from Michigan, we had a Thanksgiving Day parade in Detroit, and that was always a big thing for my childhood, right? And so that's what I miss. And when Klay celebrated yesterday, he's the first athlete that I looked at and said, I missed that.
Well, he's
Because
not done.
all of the visuals,
Look at this one.
because all of his visuals would be my visuals.
Look at that. He can't stand.
And look, but here's the thing.
That's one of the best athletes on the planet.
But here's the thing. Hey, I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you a secret. When you've been drinking and you stumble, you fall forward. You know what I'm saying?
I love that video so much. That poor lady.
They just changed terrain just a little bit.
She got ran over by Klay Thompson. Oh, no.
Oh, man. But I'll tell you this, and shout to her for being a good sport, and shout to the Warriors fans, San Francisco. I know, like, being a team that moved from Oakland, there are a lot of people in that town that are upset that they left.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm glad to see Toscano Anderson, a guy who grew up in that area, Gary Payton II, whose father is from the Bay. And it's a joy to see, like, a player like him who was in the G League, Jordan Poole last year, who was in the G League,
Gary
all of a sudden
Payton
get a chance to celebrate this.
Was going to put in his resume to be the video coordinator for the Warriors. He was going to give up the game and try to get into the front office by being the video coordinator. Ends up being a key piece of their playoff run and their finals championship.
But we need more Klay, because also that's a failed test. And I know the league ain't tested anymore. And I know, like, he was outdoors, and I know that California has a different ordinance than everywhere else across the country.
Yes.
I would say, you know, the aroma that could be in the air. But, man, he's the first athlete, Jacoby. I was like, I missed that. That's what I
love that you never won a championship in college of the pros, and you're not like, God, I just want to have that ring or that trophy. I want to have that moment when the buzzer sounds. You're like, I want to have the party.
I want to be
I want to have
I want
the party.
that.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
Jalen,